What's poppin', everyone, and welcome back to another video here on the channel. Hopefully you guys are having an absolutely fantastic kick butt day today so far. Now guys, today's video we have something very interesting to discuss, a very unique new star power right around the corner here, and that is of course the second star power for Colonel Ruffs. It is going to be absolutely broken in certain respects, and I cannot wait for you guys to get your hands on it. It's going to be really fun. We're going to be going over everything you need to know about it, as well as hop into some fun gameplay so you guys can see it in that setting as well. So hope you guys are all excited. Let's get straight away into it. Here we go. Alright everyone, so first things first, just a friendly reminder to all of you guys, if you have not yet subscribed here to the channel, be sure to do so if you enjoy the content that I put out there. As you can see, we're sitting at 59.5% not subscribed and 40.5% subscribed. So I greatly appreciate it if you turn that red button gray, and hey, thank you for just watching this video today as well. You guys are legends. Also, if you guys are thinking about doing a little bit of gemming once this new star power comes around the corner, be sure to use code RAY in the Brawl Star shop. Keep those dance parties going all day. We get a small kickback for that, and it resets every couple weeks, so make sure you plug something in. If it's not mine, be sure to do someone else's. It's gonna help them a ton. But you guys, with all of that out of the way, we are beginning today's video off over here in dev build, outlining this fabulous second star power, which is definitely bringing a brand new mechanic here into Brawl Stars. The newest star power is called Field Promotion. Friendly brawlers have their maximum health increased by 30 every second that they are in range of this ability while it's active. Now guys, I want to make this super clear. This is not healing 30 HP every single second to your allies when they're within range of the star power. It is adding 30 HP to the maximum health that the brawler already has. So to give you guys a little bit of context on what this star power is truly capable of, most definitely on the more extreme side of things, a maxed out Poco has a grand total of 5,600 HP at its maximum. So I tested this out in one of the longest 3v3 game modes we have here in Brawl Stars, and that is Brawl Ball, when you go into overtime. So I stood around this bot Poco for the whole entire match, and he ended up with a grand total of 11,960 HP. Holy crap. It sure is bizarre to see a Poco that healthy without a single power cube above his head, am I right? So of course, like I said before, this is more of an extreme example. You're not going to be able to stand around a teammate for the entirety of a Brawl Ball match and get away with that, but what it's truly capable of, the Poco increased its health by 6,360 with Colonel Ruffs star power. So the Field Promotion star power is definitely very exciting, and you guys can expect this thing to be released on the 24th here, so at the point that I'm recording this video, 2 days away. But with a general overview of what this star power is capable of, I next want to hop into some gameplay and see what we can do in a real match setting against bots here in dev build, and then at the very end of the video I'll wrap up, give you guys my 2 cents where I think it's going to shine here in the meta, what particular game modes, and my overall impressions of the star power before it's released into the game. How OP is it going to be? So let's get straight away into it. So everyone, the very first game mode we're going to be hopping into here is Duo Showdown. It's the very first game mode that came to my mind that made the most sense for this star power to be utilized here in the game, just because it gives you much more options. Say for example, you get to a really bad power cube lead, you can't get the damage increase, you can't get the health increase. Well, at least if you got a Colonel Ruff on your team, you don't have a single power cube, you can still get that health benefit to your teammates and work with that in mind. So you can really scale here in Duo Showdown with the power cubes and the star power being activated, because you're going to be within radius of your teammates for probably the majority of the match here. So this 8-bit is most definitely my dude. He is doing all the dirty work. Let's give him a actual super, beef him up too, unless he dies. Stinking bots. I should have waited for him. But you guys get the gist of things. I think we saw him cap out at like 7,000 HP, something like that. And we all know kind of the meta of Duo Showdown. If you do get to a bad start, a lot of the time people will just go into a bush and try to maximize their position in the game, waiting out the match. Well, if you're doing that bush camping, you can give your partner copious amounts of HP while you're doing that. So it's not just camping, right? You're actually doing something useful with that time in the bushes. Really, the only thing that's not super beneficial about this is that you yourself don't get the benefits of the star power, but you can keep that guy beefy. I could definitely see team comps just revolving around just simply this mechanic. But It's too bad my 8-bit freaking stinks. Come on, come on. Nice, guys, but still managing to take first place. I'm in love with this star power. It's going to be really, really interesting here in the meta. I want to know what team comps are going to revolve around this in Duo Showdown. Colonel Ruff and who? Maybe a Frank, maybe someone who is a little bit on the weaker end of things because of their health. And if you give them a little bit more of a health pool, they can stand the test of time in that Duo Showdown match. Okay, guys, so next we're hopping into a match of Bounty here, not because of this specific map or anything, but with a specific team comp in mind that is ravaging Bounty to this day. I'm sure we all have played up against the Nani's, bows, and like a Mortis for the defense in Bounty. Well, I think just Colonel Ruff here is going to make that team comp even better here in the game. Imagine just hanging around your Nani, beefing him up so he can't die, farming up those bounty points, just giving them maximum HP throughout the match. I think is incredible. So let's see if we can actually help out this Colette here, giving her a little bit of HP. And it's pretty interesting because Colonel Ruff is considered a supportive unit here in the game, and now with this star power, he has avenues to buff up the attack and the HP in 2 different ways. The super gives them 700 health to their character, and the star power can slowly generate upwards of 5,000 extra HP for your teammates if you play your cards right and you play around your teammates. I think this star power alone is gonna really reward some passive gameplay here in different 3v3 game modes. For example, in Bounty, if we are all huddled around each other and we buff up the 2 teammates on my team, we can slowly watch the advantage pour into our favor over time and then try to capitalize on that health buff. I'm really liking it, and it rewards people to stay alive, right? So I don't know, I'm just really looking forward to different metas and comps revolving around this. I think it's going to be very, very interesting. Taking an L there, but we weren't really trying too hard. Next, you guys, heading into a match of gem grab here, my favorite game mode in Brawl Stars. And the one thing that has really been on my mind about this star power is how good it can be in some of our triple healer comps in the game. For example, if you have a Pam and a Poco and you complement it with a Colonel Ruff, you're really about control with that comp. You stay on the gem mine, you can give them maximum HP for a good portion of that while you're staying alive. And then on top of that, you can heal each other with that maximum HP, so you are able to stay alive much longer with those healer comps, getting the benefits of the star power even more. So I don't know, I'm really, really worried in that respect, but we'll have to wait and see. Of course, we've seen star powers and brawlers being released into the game super, super overpowered and then nerfed substantially. I think in a lot of circumstances, if you're hopping into it with randoms and stuff like that, and you have some aggro brawlers that die a whole lot, you're gonna only be able to give your teammates like a good 200 health, and that's on the higher end of things to their character. But if you're staying alive and you're huddled around each other for a really, really long time during the game, then it will pay off. If you can give your teammates like a good 1,000 to 1,500 HP, I think it's going to be somewhat decent. But here we go. I'm not focusing enough on these bot matches. We can't lose to the bots here, guys. We got to keep these bots in check. They're still getting on my nerves, I'll tell you that much. I don't even want to see some of the things that I'm going to see moving forward here in the meta, like a bush camping Colonel Ruff and a Mortis in gem grab, and then they buff up the Mortis to the very last second of the match. The Mortis has like 10,000 health and he goes in. That's going to be freaking crazy. It's nuts. But yeah, guys, I think this is going to be a tiny bit of a shorter video here today, but I'm pretty sure I got across all the things that are kind of going through my mind about this star power before it's released, and what you guys can come to expect here when it's actually released into the meta. I think it has a lot of potential and some interesting mechanics involved with it. We might be seeing a pretty decent shift in the meta just because of this one star power. Some really fun team comps revolving around this alone, some different gameplay strategies in certain game modes, maybe some more passive play. We might see triple healer a little bit more often. It's just really, really interesting. I think it's going to spice up the meta quite a lot. So my impressions of it before it's going to be released, I would give this star power a most definite S tier, one of the best star powers in the entire game. Now, it is a little bit early, it's not released into the game quite yet, but if one star power can make different team comps viable, or make certain team comps that were not thought up yet or not utilized yet viable, I think it needs to be mentioned, right? It's gonna be a really good star power from what I can see so far. But yeah, guys, be sure to let me know what you're thinking about this star power. I'm very curious to what you guys have to say in the comments comments down below. It is so freaking wild. It is a very interesting star power, to say the least. Even if it's not super good, I'm very much so looking forward to seeing what people will be doing in friendly battles, like in Showdown, trying to get the most HP on like a Frank with 20 power cubes and stuff like that. It's just going to be a fun time, this star power. But yeah, guys, I think I'll leave you on that note. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to slap a like on it. I'd really appreciate that. Have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Keep having fun with Brawl Stars, and we'll see you in the next video. Adios, you guys. Whoosh.